In this lesson, I'll show an example of how clothing can be animated. This model is the same Genesis 8 figure we've used in the tutorial, with the only modifications being a high heel and the foot rotated down to match. The setup and animation were done in DAZ using the methods we learned earlier in this course. Let's get started. Start by switching to the Animation module. Click File, Import, Animation Type. In this case, I've prepared a Maya cache, so I'll import an MCX file. I'll import as centimeters and click OK. This message can be ignored. If it pops up, click Yes. The reason this message is shown is because the animation I prepared had frames starting in a negative value. By clicking Yes, Marvelous Designer will move the entire animation range to start at frame 1. Now with the animation loaded, I'll disable the clothing visibility so we can have a better look at what's happening in the animation. For this process, we need to start the animation at the clothing's neutral pose. From there, it transitions to the start of the walking animation. The final frame is the resting pose in DAZ that doesn't have the feet rotated up. This is fine because all we need is the start transition from clothing pose to walk cycle. You can load anything you want as long as the animation start transitions from your clothing pose. Now on to animation solving. The big red arrow is pointing to the icon for simulation quality. There are two simulation qualities. Single down-facing arrow is simulation normal. Double down-facing arrow is simulation complete. I'll show you the difference in the two settings now. For the first demonstration, I'll leave it set as simulation normal, and I'll click Record to start. Once you click Start, the fabric is solved to a new animation timeline layer. Depending on your animation and pattern density, this can take some time to solve. With the animation bake finished, let's watch again. Already it's obvious that we have some problems with the collision. And again, where the arm swings close to the body, catching some of the fabric at the hip. Unfortunately, that animation provided us nothing useful. I'll set the time slider to 0, then click the glowing dot for that animation layer to turn it off. Now I'll change to Simulate Complete and click Record again. This animation will take longer to solve, but will do a better job. Watching the animation again, we can clearly see this is what we want. I hope that clears up the difference in normal and complete. With the animations baked, I'll save the scene now. The final step in this lesson is to export the animation. Switch to the Simulation module and click File, Export Alembic Ogawa. I'll render this in Marmoset next, so in this case I'll export thick, include avatar shape, and centimeters. Again, depending on your animation length and clothing density, the export may take some time. This concludes the lesson. Good job!